Welcome back. This is the Old Bull Young Buck podcast. I'm David Mundy.
Hi,
and
Dave.
With me is my goal kicking machine, Griffin Logue. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, mate. Fresh off a big bag on the weekend. So, yeah, good.
We'll get into it in a little bit. But last week's pod, Sam Swikowski.
How do you pronounce it? I don't actually know. Is that right?
Yeah, I've asked him before.
Swikowski or Swikowski?
Swikowski.
Silent
yeah.
T.
Cow.
Is it a silent T?
No, I think he says the T.
Oh, all right.
It's not
He was good.
Swikowski.
No, clearly not. Or Kov.
Yeah.
It was funny. I actually was a bit surprised how much we got out of him. He's a good man to chat to. It sounds like a terrible man to live with, but I hate to see his split personality disorder that he's got running there. But
yeah, Kov doesn't sound like a very desirable housemate, does he?
No.
What was the game that he brought up?
Catan.
A lot of people have actually recommended that to me.
Well, someone messaged him actually and said, "Hey mate, that's fantastic news." I can't remember his name. He sent me the screenshot. It's fantastic news to hear you're playing Catan. My brother and I are actually state champions in it.
State champions.
And went to Sweden to play the world champ. World champ. Dead set. I've got his name. Kov showed me. So
how'd they go?
I still don't know what Catan is though.
Well, it's a board game.
Really,
we'll look it up after. I'll show you.
Yeah, we didn't really do the full intel on it, but sounds interesting. But he was good. Yeah, and I enjoyed him.
He did, and
He's a funny man.
Something I've reflected on a little bit is something very rare in football environments is he doesn't drink coffee.
Nah,
which is a bit different, a bit strange.
Only one other man I know at the club doesn't drink coffee is Lukey Ryan
and Andy.
And Andy, hot chocolates strictly. Says a bit about him though, doesn't it?
Does it? What do you think it says?
Oh, it's probably not suitable to play this time here, but it was good. It was good, mate. Anyway, retro round this week. Yeah,
selling like hotcakes to the 3D jumpers. And
they've been going well.
Team store and the retro jackets have been released. I think today.
Yeah,
start of the week on Monday.
They look wicked. They actually look really nice. I'm hoping Craig to put one aside for me for the Logie Bear, but don't know. I think they're going out, as you said, selling like hotcakes. So the
retro range in the Dock team store. Get up and about.
That's right.
Go up there and swipe your card and buy some stuff.
No. Just a spono job for me, mate. I actually modelled it, so they want to sort me out, to be honest.
That's right. I'd forgotten about that. Sorry, we spoke about the blue steel last week.
Yeah, it's all right. No, forget about it.
Where do you think you rank on the list of guys when Craig from the team store is looking for models on the team list?
Scraping the barrel, to be honest. But need someone that's a bit of a different looker, so big curly hair, hairy forearms. I reckon gets the job done. Gets the job done for me. So, hey. Any publicity is good publicity, mate.
And we travelled back on Saturday after our Friday night game on the weekend and had Sunday off. What did you get up to?
Just marinated on the couch, to be honest.
You and Big Duck holding hands?
Yeah. Beat him in FIFA for a game for dinner and that's about it. It was pretty rainy weather.
What was his angry scale after that game?
Nah.
He is emotionally attached to those games, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, but I think he's accepted the fact that he's never going to beat me again, so it's more of he just can't beat me, so... He's up for the challenge, but that's better. What'd you get up to?
Not too much. I actually played a big Nerf gun hide and seek challenge with my eldest son Finn in the afternoon, which was good fun. A bit different to your marination, but
sounds very fun.
While we were talking about FIFA, actually reminded me the origins of yours and Switter's little, because you didn't get on the best of mates last week. There was a bit of animosity.
Yeah, I just always get into him, but it did originate from FIFA game in the hub where he beat me.
What? How much?
6 goals to none before half time.
Ouch.
And just didn't relent. Like he only went easy on me because I hadn't played much before, and then just didn't make it fun. And from then on, I just kind of put him on the list of people to, hurt.
Yeah.
Physically.
Oh, tough guy.
Physically.
Tough guy.
Physically, emotionally, spiritually, and he's feeling the effects of that now. So
then, would Twitter be up there on the list of better FIFA players on the playing list?
Yeah, he'd be number one to be able to beat me like that.
To beat you like that?
No one can beat me like that.
Because he also told us a story after we stopped recording last week about how he used to play with Lloyd, and Lloyd pretty competitive, but no good at FIFA.
No good at anything, I don't think, Lloyd, compared to Swit. Swit's he's good at everything.
I think it was actually NBA 2K.
Yeah, it would have been that.
Talking about, and how he'd just play with him and win on the buzzer beater every time.
It's so rude. Like you can just see he's too much. He's too good with games like that. So the best player always wins, unfortunately. Fortunately for Tabs as well.
Is it a time in, performance out type thing?
Yeah, definitely. You have to grow up with a PlayStation from a young age and be really good at it. Myself and Mickey we're outdoors, mate. That's why we're kind of big guys now.
Gidgee local.
Well, that's why you see our physical kind of benefits that we can bring to the footy field. You don't see that in someone like Switter, do you? So that's why we can, I'll take it. All right, I'm not a nerd. Take it. You beat me at PlayStation. Well done. Like, that's always gonna be me go back to. So cop that one, Switter.
All right, well, let's tie that one up and let's move Switter aside. And there's a nice little retro round flavour to this week's podcast. Do you want to invite
There is, and I like how he said little as well. So he's good mate of everyone's going around. Hard man to get along with early days. Just still the hardest bumper I've ever come across in a pre-game kind of bump, but and that's spoken about. But anyway, the great man Hayden Valentine has joined us. So cheers, Ballas.
Thanks, guys.
How you going? You all right?
Going well. Clearly the short jokes are still in, are they, Griff?
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
One off the mark. Well done. You're 1 for 1 so far.
Griff's just glad he's not the shortest in this room anymore.
I'll never understand that. Like, we'll go back to back on air if you want and see who's taller. But anyway, Ballas, you've been got a few sacks on the eyes. You're up early this morning. How you feeling?
Yeah, bit tired. Normally about this time of the day I start nodding off a little bit, but I sold a cup of coffee and I'm good to go. I'm not like Andy. I love my coffee. But
how many a day are we talking? If you love coffee,
probably 2 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon.
2 doubles.
Still, yeah, doubles. Always
yeah.
doubles. But
it's good going.
Yeah, keep me up and about.
A lot of caffeine for
For what?
Smaller kind of guy.
Yeah.
Condensed person.
Well, smaller.
Keep
liver,
a track on those small man jokes.
smaller liver, whatnot. The words up.
No, it keeps me going. But yeah, pretty busy most during the week. But Mondays are good days for me, so that's why I'm here.
Beautiful.
Now, you're a heart and soul Freo man, played your entire career here, and we loved having you. Do you still watch the footy?
Yeah. This year more so. First year out, just tasting what life's like after football. First year out.
How does it taste?
Good, to be honest. Yeah, really good. Much less stressful. You don't realise how much of a bubble you're in until you're out of that bubble, and you think, the grass is greener on the other side once you work out where that grass is. So, it took me a while to work that out, but it's been really good. And, transitioning out, I'd still miss the camaraderie and seeing the boys and going out and being able to belt blokes up for 2 hours on a Saturday or Sunday. And
then playing a game of footy.
I do miss that, but it's life's good and the family's good too.
Did you watch on Friday night?
I did, and everyone had to leave the lounge room because I was going off my absolute tree, you blokes. I was losing the plot, but no, it's probably one of the best games I've seen all year because the pressure and the hits and the tackles. It was it was my kind of footy, and I really enjoyed the game. Even I was saying to Griff, like, you nearly prefer to lose than come a draw. It's one of the there's just no numb feeling. It's
such
like
an
empty
feeling. We're saying that's my first ever draw in anything. There's not many sports that finish with a draw other than soccer. I've never really played soccer, but not many other sports actually finish with a draw. I reckon you got to stop it. Like,
what do you
terrible.
want? Like extra time?
Oh, just 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes.
Next goal wins. Next goal wins.
Golden point.
I reckon you got to do a time. Like, next goal wins is a bit harsh. I reckon a bit of time. 5 more minutes. Just keep going the same way. 5 more minutes. Let them play it out.
Have a break. Does the siren go and you stop and then have
I reckon so. Like a fifth quarter.
Yeah.
Have another 5 minute fifth quarter or something.
Does the ball just go up from where it stopped, or is it another centre clearance?
Centre clearance, I think.
And 5 minutes. And which way do you go though?
Same way as the last quarter.
Do you go 5 minutes each way?
So I reckon same way as the last quarter, and off you go.
And if it's still a draw after that,
go again. 5 more.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
If you get to the last one after 5 times, I reckon it's a rock off and leave it at that. But I was touching on before, so you've already played in one. You've played in one as well.
2 now. Yep.
2 now. So what was the first one?
In 2013.
The Sydney game.
Yeah. Was it?
14, I reckon. 13 or 14.
No, yeah, 13. Round 8 versus the Swans.
Yeah. I played in that one too. And same thing, just numb. I think Jono had a shot.
Yeah,
or
swung
kicked
forward
a goal
late.
or something. The defender went forward and we were so close. But
Zach Clark, I think, was the culprit on that day.
Was he?
Jono kicked a goal, and then had another shot from deep. And Clarkey, who's hopefully listening and watching, it was our ruckman at the time.
Wasn't on the line.
Didn't get down on the line.
That's
force
right.
The next one
That's
through.
right. And
Yeah.
Ross went off his brain on Tuesday about it.
Yeah, Sam Reid marked it.
Yeah.
I just reckon we got to scrap it though. It's got to be like, it's just that feeling after the game. I was kind of relieved because we obviously got away with it in the end when, they kind of botched it a bit, but yeah. It's a terrible feeling.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? You're just kind of looking around, standing there like, well, now what? Well, now you walk off and have a shower and that's it.
I know.
Bad luck, champ.
No music as well. Like, it's kind of like, It's a weird feeling.
I think roaming Brian was a bit lost too. He didn't know where to roam.
Well, our rooms were a bit mellow afterwards.
Yeah, that was
Not
a very-
many
Normally,
guys-
that's normally Friday night footy. You watch a bit extra to see roaming Brian make an idiot of himself.
They-
How many boys
be
were
honest.
around? We just kind of
We all kind of, just dispersed and,
So I mentioned it in the intro, but ultimate swingman kicking snags. Now, I didn't want to though, did you? Early in the game, that one,
I always
20 minutes out all by yourself, crumbed it.
just love getting the people involved, mate. That's all I'm there for. I reckon Ballas would have kicked another 150 goals if I was up there with him. It would have dished off that many to him.
I tell you what, if you didn't, you would have got a spray.
That's the thing. I don't know. I'm just a first give mentality, but
So you've given it to Caleb, he's got in a bit of trouble, giving it back. Your immediate thought when you see that he's handballing it back to you, what's your immediate thought?
whack it on the boot. Go for it. I knew I was going to. I should have kicked it the first time, to be honest, but yeah, came off like a absolute mongrel, but just it was a perfect floater.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
It went up high. It was a bit of a moonball. It came down snowing it, I reckon, to be honest, but came down and straight through, and I thought I was in for a big one. So
First goal, first minute. I think 120 minutes, I could come off with 120 goals here.
yeah, logistically you could if you do the maths, but I don't think it's possible. I reckon, I'd book myself in for 4 though. You'd think down like 1 a quarter's easy, but it's harder than it looks. What's the most you kicked in a game?
6 in AFL 6.
Yeah.
Kicked 8 in waffle, but
We didn't.
doesn't really count.
No, we didn't ask.
And our man Hayden Young had a dominant game down back. How do you find watching halfbackers have good games, considering they were pinching and punching the back of your arm for
They're very.
years on end?
They seem very mellow now. Like at least it was. It was nasty out there, but I loved it. So, but I see Hayden Young, and must be the name. Very good player, very good, and I like watching him play.
Young's a good name, isn't
Young
it?
is a good name, yeah.
And we can't move on the game without talking about Michael Frederick and his
The smother.
smother.
Yeah.
He's always on, and he's so quick he can make up that ground in that
He
split
was
second that you
light.
get.
That was one of the fastest I've seen him run. He just swarmed it, didn't he?
And Noel Bolt can kick it an absolute mile, so there's no way he wouldn't have made the distance. on
Yeah,
that
he was.
set shot.
He loaded up, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was roosting it. So
Thank you, Freddie.
good on you, Freddie. Couple smothers as well. There was another one after that late in the game, but someone down the line.
Yeah, it's not as important in the
Someone
midfield
kicked
ones.
it just to keep it.
Right, well,
Yeah,
let's
it was
launch-
me. It was me.
Let's launch into Hayden Valentine.
Can't wait.
Drafted to Fremantle, pick 21. Tell us about the couple of years before that, playing for Peel and the lead up to the draft.
Yeah, so I played 2 years of Colts and 3 years of league footy at Peel. Played state 18s in 2005 and nominated for the draft. Never got picked up. And then,
Did you ever get a reason? Like it was.
yeah,
it was just
your joke's just too short.
too short.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty
they
much.
just stuck with that.
Yeah, that was a time when Nick Rewalt and those guys were coming through and dominating, and you had to be 6 foot to play in the midfield. And I was playing as a midfielder then, and never got a look in because of the height. As disappointing as it was, spurred me on to get a bit better. And Chris Waterman, who was a coach at Peel, ultimately said, "Have a go playing small forward." And 2008 played small forward and kicked a heap of goals, had a good year, and got picked up by Freo.
And throughout that year, obviously had a really good
I think it was
Peel
more
year.
than just a good year.
Yeah.
He kicked 100. How many goals did he kick in that year?
Yeah, 76.
Yeah.
culminating in.
Won the Sandover that year, which was
Not a bad year.
it was a good year.
Is that from forward pocket?
Full pocket.
Did you
yeah.
like go in the midfield a little bit for like a little
I'd
bit
pinch
of a,
it if we were struggling. I'd go
Yeah.
up and play a bit of midfield.
It's a fair effort to win it from forward pocket, isn't it?
Yeah, I a few games where I'd go in and play forward, and one of my big mates loved it because Dean Buzan, I love getting around the big fellas because they stick up for me. I'd kick it to him, so he'd actually like it when I go play up in the midfield. So it was it was a reasonably good year, a few goals, and picked up as a small forward.
Was
The
that-
Sandover night was pretty funny though because a few mates that played for South Mandurah won the grand final on the Sunday. So obviously stayed out with the boys and had a good night with them, and got home about 4 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning. Meant to go to the Sandover and left my suit at home. So I was stuck up in at the Crown, no suit. Had to borrow one that was 4 sizes too big. And looked like a bit of a peanut when I actually won the medal.
How did you go with the paver laying the next day?
Yeah, that was a struggle too.
Yeah.
Obviously 2 nights in
Tuesday,
a row. Went and did that. But you go along and you look at all the names on there, and it is a pretty proud moment to see your name go up with those guys as well.
And we were speaking about it off air just before, but lead up to the draft was a bit unconventional for yourself?
Yeah, footy trip got in the way, and I'd had a trip booked with a few of the boys, and I thought it was all smoothed over with the draft camp that I wasn't going, but then the media got wind of it and blew up a big story about how I'm not getting drafted because I failed to show up to the draft camp. But got home, did a draft combine by myself. Little fat.
You've blown off the draft camp to go to Thailand.
Yeah, it was a good footy trip though.
Yeah,
we had a good
worth
time.
it.
Yeah.
It's all worked out in the end now, but
Got a good tattoo there.
That's my favourite.
And then got back, did a beep test by myself and skin folds and all that stuff, and obviously did enough to get.
Did you give yourself a few days in the sauna before you did the skin folds? Or?
I did a bit of running over there, just sweat. It's pretty easy to get up and go for a run over there because you just sweat it all out, and did a bit of running. So try to keep in some sort of shape.
You're right.
But ended up getting picked up. So
you've been running much lately. You're in good nick now.
Yeah, I've been doing a fair bit more so. Just a bit of weights and bike and stuff. I never really liked running, but
yeah, I don't think anyone does, mate.
No, I didn't really like running. I'm a pretty bit of a vain type of guy. I like to look good, so I still go for a few runs here and there.
So you get drafted by Freo, walk into the club. What's your first impressions or some of the big personalities you first come across as you're walking through the doors?
Taz was the one that really went bang and just kind of took me under his wing, and he was a bit of a rogue, I suppose, Taz, as you know. And Taz was one that I sat next to in meetings, and he'd half start dozing off in some of them, or he'd like pick his toenail and put on my knee or something. This is the senior player here.
Yeah, Chris Tarrant, by the way. Yeah.
Aaron, obviously, me and Aaron get on really well, and he took me under his wing. Probably from that first Mad Monday. That's when we became really good friends.
How old were you when you got drafted then? 21?
21.
Yeah.
First year at Freo, I was 21. And, it's just to come into an environment where I'd been watching them for the previous few years play, and now I'm playing alongside of them. But as you guys probably know, I'm a pretty confident type of guy, and I came in and I was expecting to play round one because I'll back myself in. But then I had to have surgery on a wrist that I broke a couple of years before, and they made me have surgery, and didn't play my first game to round 13.
Is that the famous scaphoid?
The scaphoid, yeah. Had 2 bouts of surgery on that because just wouldn't heal.
I'm glad you mentioned Aaron before because as the years progressed, you quickly morphed into almost a companion pony for the big fella. If he's the big thoroughbred, you're the companion pony.
Yeah.
Culminating in you being piggybacked on his shoulders off on your last game together.
Yep.
What was that relationship like throughout?
Yeah, really good. The best thing was if he was sitting business class, I had to sit next to him. So on flights over to Melbourne and back, we were always business class. But yeah, we just, similar type of blokes, similar type of IQs, I suppose, as well. We had a dictionary down next to us just so we could tell what the big words you and Pav and Whoosh would say during meetings. So just a couple of guys that got on really well. And the last game we played together it was a pretty special moment. I played my whole career with him, and it was pretty special. We never planned. I never planned to get on his shoulders, but we walked our lap with the kids, and then we're about to go off. I think you were actually walking over to pick one of us up, and Aaron goes, "Get on my shoulders." I've looked at him up and I said, "What?" He said, "Get on my shoulders." He said something twice. You don't argue again. So I got on. You helped me get on, and there's a photo of from behind, and you got all you guys and. Essendon lined up and the crowd, and it's actually it's pretty surreal photo when you look at it and think how cool that was.
Absolutely, that was our first retro round week as well.
Yeah,
round, so
they were good jumpers as well. Remember that? Yeah, I reckon that's probably the first thing I noticed coming in to the club. You mentioned Mad Monday, but it was always you two kind of calling the shots. Yeah, it wasn't a Mad Monday; it was more like a boat party. The first year, I just remember you two kind of throwing off all the shots and stuff. So it's good to see that you're still kind of obviously good mates now, but.
It's a hard man to get hold of these days. He's mowing lawns and keeping himself busy or holidaying. So
he's in here a bit as well, big fella. Big fellas.
I've seen him. I've seen him. The head wobble he gets going. He's strutting out onto the oval. Always makes you laugh.
So you played 171 games, 254 goals. Played for 11 seasons, all Australian in 2014. You're a Fremantle Life member, but do you know how many Brownlow votes you accumulated?
Be a few, surely.
There is a few, yeah.
Is there?
26.
Yeah, right. I don't keep count, unlike some people. But
pretty easy to
count.
Look don't have to look too far.
But I remember a few games when you kick a bag of goals, you think, oh, beautiful, I'll be in the votes here. And we played Richmond in 14, and like I thought I dominated the game, killed it, kicked 6, had a heap of tackles and that, and 3 votes in 5. So what do you got to do? Votes around here. Yeah, right now it's a good stat. I have to remember that one.
I've probably asked already, but do you know how many you got?
No, I'm not sure.
Don't either.
Got the most in the year last year, but not sure how many.
Well, that was your career high, wasn't it? Yeah.
So, we've mentioned both games that you've kicked 6 now. Well done on introducing the second one. But the 6 against West Coast and the Derby in 2010, was that extra special given the relationship and the rivalry between us?
Yeah, definitely. And the bloke I was playing on as well, Paddy McGinnity, I kicked bags at him during the waffle days as well. So I used to love when I see him come down because you could just see how nervous he was. And when you can just tell you've got him on toast, it's just you're going to have a day out and you can just let rip. So that was what I did.
You would have been on the lip a fair bit?
Yeah, loved it. Yeah, especially to him because poor bugger, he's had to chase me around for another 2 hours. But the rivalry you talk about it was a genuine rivalry that I loved. You'd want to win the derbies. You want to win every game, but the derbies just more so you can shut everyone up for another 6 months. You don't have to hear from all your West
bragging rights for
all your mates who will get on the lip to you. You can shut them up for a while. So that was definitely.
Was that the game where you did the arm pump celebration? You told me that you got that massive arm cramp.
No, pec cramp. That was
so cool.
That was Geelong. Yeah,
run me through that one again. I've got to hear that one.
It was a good goal. I just had to celebrate it pretty hard.
Was it goal of the year?
No, I got ripped off that one. Didn't get that one.
Yeah,
should have been.
Run us play by play of that goal.
Yeah,
that was the one where BT commentates.
Give it to
us.
No,
you're a little old. You're a little old to Jared Rivers. Give it to him.
Look at Ballantyne. Will he take him on? He looks at Rivers and he says, "You're a little old. I'm young and I'm sneaky." Around one, Ames lets it rip. Oh, Ballantyne. He just looked at him and he said, "I have got you covered, Jared. You are not the same that I am."
And then kick the goal and running off,
I'm faster than you. I'm faster than you. You can't come with me.
Yeah, something like that. It was pretty funny. And then, running off, doing the fist pump, and I've high-fived Tendai, and Tendai's like done this and shaking his hand. Then I've just cramped, like you would not believe, in my pec. And I had to get off. Mullo stretched me out. I'm cramping real bad in my pec. And but it wouldn't go away. It lasted a good 5 minutes, just this one side. It was a fair high five. I'd had surgery the week before, so I was still I was in a fair bit of, the body wasn't feeling the greatest at that stage.
What was the surgery on?
I broke my jaw.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And but it was Pav's 300th or 350th or something in that game, and wanted to get up for that one.
Yeah, not missing those. I'm glad you mentioned the high five because playing with Ballas after he kicked goals, known as a very passionate, invested, energetic man. Every goal he kicks, that celebration, running, whatever, and you'd put your hand out, you're like, oh, geez, I hope I can get this back. Oh, good. Well done, mate.
I don't know, I just used to get really passionate up and about, trying to get everyone involved. And when you guys know, you work so hard through training and pre-season and all that stuff, and you get out there, and that's the fun time. Game time's the fun time. Get out there and have fun, and that's what I try to do every week.
As they say, mate, best time of the week, isn't it?
Best day of the week.
Best 2 hours of the week. Let's get out and attack it, boys.
Yeah.
Just playing. I want to touch on playing through a broken jaw. You obviously played through a few injuries and stuff. Is that probably the worst one that you kind of thought, whoa, this is pretty hard to play through? Or
nah, I tore my pec, and broken bones you can generally play and just get through. It just hurts a bit, but I tore my pec off the bone playing against Carlton, and I went off and they did all the testing and they knew it wasn't good, but I tried to go out. They strapped it, tried to go out, and started playing. I was running around like this, didn't realise until I watched the replay. So that was probably the worst because I couldn't have any influence on the game. But
how'd you take in a tackle or something?
Yeah, I was tackling Mark Murphy, and as a good tackle, I picked him up and dropped him, and then I heard this noise. I thought, I've got him now. I've heard him. I've tried to push up and nothing was happening with my arm. And he's looking back. He's got up and ran off, looking back at me, like having a little giggle because he goes, "No, it's me. I've hurt myself." Oh. But the noise sounded like a tree trunk snapping because pec's right there and right near your ear. It sounded.
We get it, mate. Your pop's as big as tree trunks.
It sounded really bad. So yeah, that was probably the worst injury.
Yeah, right.
What was the layup from that one?
That was decent. That was 10 weeks, I think. Yeah, about 10 weeks. Is cut it open, pull it up. The doctor showed me the operation. Oh, it's horrendous. Like, blood and
shocking,
that kind of stuff doesn't bother me, but when it's you, it's like. Whoa.
I reckon you showed me one of your hammy as well from it actually was a Carlton game as well, and you showed me that other one. It was like cut open. It was just like
blown apart,
exploded. It was
yeah.
just shocking. I don't know how they put them together. Good on you, surgeons.
Yeah,
you need them out there, don't you?
And
how do you know what to do?
And it was like you said, completely blown apart. And then he took one after he finished it and clean as a whistle, good to go. Right. And that was it was another 10 weeks as well.
So a large part of your tenure at Fremantle was a pretty successful period from like 2010 with halves, and then from obviously 13 to 15 with Ross. What were some of your best memories from those times?
Straight away, as soon as someone asked what was the best game to have played in, was that Sydney game. And
the prelim?
The prelim to get into the grand final. Because, I only kicked one goal, but it feels like I had the ball all night. It's because we and we were always involved in some sort of way in that game, whether it be tackling or blocking or talk. You could just see there was 18 blokes all with the same thoughts. I knew what you were going to do, you knew what I was going to do, and vice versa for everyone else. And to dominate a team as good as Sydney that game, I think we only won by 3 or 4 goals, but it felt like we won by 100 points. So just the feeling out there and how well we played, that was probably the best game to have been involved in. And also a few weeks before in Geelong, like similar, no one gave us a chance. And as soon as we got all that media hype about how we're no chance to win, the chest puffs out and then let's go, let's have a crack. And we end up smoking them as well. So it was that period where you're talking about where you're running down the race and you look at everyone next to you and you think, your chest gets bigger. I'm not so short anymore. Yeah. you literally feel 7 foot and just the opposition are going to have a tough day to beat us.
You mentioned running down the race. Who are some of those blokes that you look at and you go, you look back now and go, geez, they're some of the best blokes I've played with or best players.
Whoosh by far, more so because he knew I was a bit of a up and about player, and if he got me up and about, it was going to be a good day. And he'd always say, every week, it'd just be just a little couple of one words like, they cannot stop you. Like just something as small as that, he would just come up and whisper in my ear, and I'd just be like, look out, I'm on now. And as soon as he would say stuff like that, just a little mention, little comment like that, just gets you really fired up. And more so what Whoosh is going to give you as well, and Dave, all those guys that we play with, and Matty DeBoer, guys like that. Yep. If there was a 50-50, I'm backing in that my teammates like Matty are going to win it, it just gives you confidence to not want to dog your mates as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully those little words of inspiration from Whoosh happened post, partner bump or those tackle sessions pre-game, which Griff mentioned in the league.
We talk about them pre-game we're just standing around like, geez, you boys remember getting bumped by Ballas? It was the first year, the first couple of games that it's gone in handball lanes, whatever, comes through and there's bang, tiny, this little nugget comes through like a cannonball. You hear that, when you hear that crunch in your neck, it's like rattles your brain like, it's like him just going half speed as well. You're like, around. Fair bump. You've got to use your strength well for a little fair. Obviously strong, but
you got to work to your strengths, and that was all that.
You like hitting blokes hard though.
Yeah. Well, you got to. I think if that can give you a bit of an edge. I used to Alex Rance. I did the same thing to him. He was coming at me and trying to put a block on, and I flattened him out, and he came up after me. You're a dense little aren't you? and if you're going to hit him, may as well hit him hard.
Absolutely. We'll launch into a section we call Quick Hands. I'll fire some questions at you, get some quick answers, and Griff might circle back.
Yeah.
If you feel like it, mate. It's up to you.
Go for it, mate.
Yeah, cool. Don't switch off. Last meal on earth, what would it be?
Tomahawk.
Tomato sauce in the fridge or the pantry?
Pantry.
Back in the day, did you have any pre-game routines?
Just go out in the ground and have 20, 30, 40 shots, whatever, until I started kicking straight.
Ever go with just one?
Nah, very rarely.
Coffee of choice?
Long Mac.
3 of them a day?
Yep.
You cooking your tomahawk or you're ordering a steak? How do you have it cooked?
Medium.
Ross's favourite saying?
Geez, there's a few. Please.
Your first car?
A Commodore.
Most used emojis?
Thumbs up.
Last time you backed a winner at the horses?
Not Sunday, not Saturday.
Too long ago.
Yeah, well, a few weeks ago. Yeah.
And your first impressions of Griff and I?
Sorry, but very hairy, both of you. Like, you got a very hairy chest and you're just hairy everywhere. So, hairy.
Nice. It's good. Thanks, mate.
Cheers. It's nice. I don't mind the tomahawk steak. I've been waiting on. I think Lukey Ryan wanted to send in a few notes and say he's waiting on a big shipment of meat from you. So you've been a bit late.
Yeah, Lukey's always on my hammer, wanting to get some meat. He's tasted the Ballantyne beef and likes it. So I actually owe him a bit. He got me a parking pass a couple of weeks ago. So I owe him a.
He said he didn't want to bring it up, but he said that you do owe him, and you're normally a man that pays your debts. So mate, you'd want to get onto it.
I will.
You don't
it was literally last week. So
mate, you don't want to cross Luke Ryan and get in the way of him and a tomahawk. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's fading away to a shadow, isn't he? He needs it.
I've seen him, but So medium or not medium rare?
Medium to medium rare. Yeah, I don't like it overdone.
Do you like it cooking it yourself, or you like someone else?
No, I cook the steaks at home.
Yeah.
Sear them, then in the oven.
Very nice.
Flat out, hot as it can be.
Yeah, nice.
Very nice.
Now, back in the day, one of the, I guess, early social media phenomenons that took hold of the Fremantle world in particular was my mate Nick. Can you tell us the origins of that and how that developed?
Nick's just a different cat. Like, he's just...
Sorry, introduce it as well a little bit for the people who may not be aware.
So you just see Nick Subin and he just has these blank looks on his face all the time, and I just obviously capture those moments on my phone and post on Instagram and hashtag my mate Nick, and people just loved it and thought it was the funniest thing ever, and it was quite funny because
Nick would have thought it was funny as well.
No, he hated it, and we'd be sitting on the plane and he'd be munching on his chips or something. I'd just like take a little video or a photo, and they were just hilarious, and he'd get real wild at me, like real wild. Yeah, it was just a bit of a laugh, really, because when you travel, you need to kill a fair bit of time. So I used to waste a fair bit of time annoying Nick.
Was there any one in particular that you still remember that you're like, that was a good one?
There was one, we were sitting up in business class, and you got the little slide out things, and I opened it up and had it filming already, smashing whatever he'd eaten. He's looked, he's like, over his face. And that was his thing. He'd all try to cover his face. I said, mate, we know who it is. Just go with it.
Why does he keep covering his face?
I don't know.
He's trying to avoid the my mate Nick. Do you remember, this is delving really quickly into a Nick Subin thing, but do you remember the year a few of us shaved our heads Shave for a Cure, and I'm not sure who it was. I don't think it was you, but
Grovesy.
Yeah,
it was Grovesy. We went to do like a one or something. We went down to Skin. he looked like what's the Addams Family bloke?
Yeah,
Uncle Fester.
Yeah.
He looked like Uncle Fester. If you put dark rings under his eyes, Uncle Fester flat out. It was hilarious. And Grovesy thought it was the funniest thing. He just went straight down the middle.
Yeah,
so he had to take the rest
too far gone.
Yeah, too far gone. Because Grovesy said, "Watch this." I was almost going to warn him. I thought, nah, it's too funny.
Oh, that
Poor
was so
Subs.
funny. And that was in summer, so then he had to get through pre-season in summer with a nude melon.
Touching on haircuts, post football, you've transitioned into the Peaky Blinders kind of cut look, and now transitioning into horse training is why that was my segue into it. So how's that going?
Yeah, really good. Got a good little team together. Don't have a huge amount. Normally 10 or 12 in work's enough for me, and I still do a fair bit of livestock work with cattle and working with West Coast, not West Coast Eagles, West Coast Livestock, and that's where I do my cattle. But the horses it's another passion that I've really enjoyed my whole life, basically. Dad being a horse trainer, and me and Nick Subin, actually, we've had a talent show. She won the Perth Cup. It was our first little horse together, and got the bug. I got my trainer's license when I was still playing footy, and bought a horse with a few boys, Mankind, and he went really well. And now it's just, I was always going to train a couple for fun, but it's just exploded into what it is now. And normally got anywhere from 10 to 15 in work most of the time and loving it.
So when you say you've got 10 to 15, like how does it work? Are you out there on your own every day with them, or is it you've just got a team and you?
Yeah, we've got a team. Like we've got some staff at home that ride and do the groundwork and that kind of stuff. But I'm at most race days. If I've got other stuff to do, I'll send one of the staff to go to race day. But they're pretty much every Saturday and during the week as well. And we're generally done. Like we start this time of the year when it's dark in the morning. We start about 5, but during summer we start quite early, 3:30, 4 o'clock, and we're done. We're normally done before 9 o'clock most mornings. It's a good lifestyle, good industry to be in, and there's not the only thing that can compete with playing a game of footy and kicking goals and running blokes down is when your horse is coming around the turn and it's looming up to win. You cannot beat that feeling, that anxiety. And I used to love the anxiety before a game. I'm a bit of a sicko. I love anxiety. People get treated for it. I love it. But
freak.
Yeah. And that anxiety, once you leg the jockey up, that's it. It's out of my hands. I can't really do much.
Yeah.
And that anxiety builds and then you see it loom up and it can potentially win. There's no better feeling.
In the early days, a couple of years ago, it was Mankind. So that was obviously your first kind of. Was that main successful one that you kind of trained yourself?
Yeah, that was the first one I bought and trained for his whole career. He had 3 starts, I think, before I bought him.
Yeah.
And then, he went on and won 6 races, and it was it was unbelievable, really. That he got me the bug again. And the horse himself, he was it's probably a bit nerdy to say it, but he's a bit like me. Not big, not tall. But he was pretty tough, and he gave everything all the time.
You'd have a crack.
Didn't matter what he was coming up against. Whether it was wet track, dry track, he always tried his hardest, and he was he's a pretty special horse.
Kicking the back of the other horse's legs and stuff. In the stalls.
He was a bit nasty towards other horses.
Get in and nipping behind the heels or
Yeah,
something.
but then he was placid as well, and loved to cuddle. I'm not much of a cuddler, but he loved to cuddle.
Can't see much placidity. Is that the word?
Can be now.
Can't see much placidity around you, Ballas. You're more of a nut job, but cheers for that. We've also one thing I noticed when you were at the club was more kind of the pranks and kind of pulling pranks on boys. We had the sheriff in Blake Acres is the kind of regained that new title as the the prankster within the club. Some of the big pranks that you pulled. Anything that you remember?
Oh, probably Anthony Morabito was an easy target. Like he brought it on himself most of the time. Like he'd do something stupid to try and get me, and it just backfired all the time. So he put deep heat in mine and Brock O'Brien's jocks one day. And I've had me shower, put my jocks on, went to get some physio. I'm starting to rub up. What's going on here? It's burning. I said to Jeff, there's something wrong going on here. And then I've took them off and it stunk of deep heat. And I straight away just thought, Mora, and then Brock's ran in and he's on fire as well. So what we did, we got his car, we stole his keys, got his car and drove it up to the Fremantle high-rise car park and parked on the second highest floor. And we just took the ticket back and put the ticket back in his locker with his keys. And he took the elevator up to the top floor, thinking it'd be on the top floor, it wasn't there. So then he had to walk. He went back down and walked all the way up till he found it. That was one of the good ones. Kepler Bradley was always not an easy target 'cause he'd normally bash me afterwards, but he was someone throw a bit of wet toilet paper over the toilet or something. He'd come running out with his pants out wanting to kill me. So there's a bit of fun and a bit of banter going around. Just keep the place enjoyable.
Yeah, it's always
I reckon one of your stock favourites would have been someone in the shower, bucket of ice
water, yeah. Nick copped that a bit. Nick said, he always copped that. But you can't do anything, because if you try and run, you slip over. So then I'll take off and all over. See, mate.
Yeah, the amount of times we heard in the old Freo change rooms, no, Bellas, no. And down at Peel Thunder, there's a inconspicuous sign. I'm not sure if anyone's seen it. Hayden Valentine wing.
Yeah.
How'd that come about?
Isn't it?
It is impressive. You look at it. I was watching the waffle game just the other day on phone, and then pops up like balls up on the wing and see Hayden Valentine wing just sitting there. So that is just like, how this bloke got his own wing?
It's hard to miss, isn't it?
Well, it was the year after I won the Sandover, and John Ditchburn invited me down for the luncheon, and
Ditchy.
Didn't even know the sign was there. And first game of the year, and I walked in, had my lunch, and he hadn't told me it was going in there. And then it was just about ready to start the game, and I'm looking out the oval, and I've looked over the other side. I'm like, It looks like my name. What's going on? I went, he goes, oh, yeah, surprise, we got that made up. It was actually, yeah, I was only 21 or 22 at the time, and it was, normally the older folk, they get their stuff named after them, and it's pretty, bit of a proud moment.
It's pretty crazy to get, what are you, 21 years old? And
there's a big, dirty big sign on the other side saying your name. So it was, pretty good moment.
It's a huge sign.
It's massive,
it's 3 or 4 meters high.
And I never even played on the wing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it should have been the pocket or the goal square or something like that.
Hayden Valentine's forward 30.
The pocket, yeah. Betts' pocket.
And other thing now, I can't compare to this, but you blokes are dads to the daughters in your life. So how's that kind of going?
Yeah, really good.
Tough through footy, like having a kid and looking back now.
Nah, opposite. So It settles you down more. Like
right.
obviously,
you needed a bit, did you?
Yeah, quite a bit. But yeah, it settles you down and makes you realise what's actually is important. You know, going out and getting on the beers, it actually isn't that much fun when you can go home and hang out with the kids. So it's definitely an eye opener when you have some kids and you realise what you're here for and what you're playing for and what's really important. But the kids they're all maniacs as well. They all want to play footy and ride horses and makes me nervous particularly because I know I was a bit of a rat bag, so I hope they're not as bad as me, but they probably will be.
Get what you deserve.
Probably.
My mum actually said that. She goes, "You deserve this. This is what you did to us." The oldest one, she broke her arm last year, falling off a horse, and the other one, her teeth are all nearly lost her tooth because she went head first down the. Actually, barreled this kid off the playground and hit her tooth on the metal. So the injuries are already coming.
The list goes on. I don't reckon the list is done either, mate. So. Just keep going. But do they still have to help you up on the horse because you're a bit short? Or?
It's number 3, I think. Yeah.
Is it true or no?
No, I can jump on myself.
Yeah, just checking.
And now you've been out of the game for a little while. I'm always interested about particularly guys or groups of guys that you played with that you keep in contact pretty regularly with. Yeah,
well, obviously Aaron, keep in contact with him a bit. Kepler as well. Ibo, Spurry, we still keep pretty tight. Pav actually just put his hand in his pocket and finally bought a share in a horse last year. Him and Scotty Baker and a few of his team have got a little syndicate together. So, yeah, speak to them a fair bit. But the life membership lunch, when you go to that each year, you always make a point of, doesn't matter when or where it is, you just get there because then you get to spend time with the people you went out and bled with and bled for to play footy. So that's always a good weekend on the calendar.
Does that end up being a pretty big weekend normally, that life member one?
Oh, yeah.
Who's best on there if you...
Well, it all changes.
Or does it all change? Yeah.
Huge shout out to Kelly Black, by the way, who her team organised this, and it's always the day before or the night before our BNF.
I was going to say, when is it? So day before the BNF. It's coming up. Coming up in the calendar.
Yeah. So we'll probably come to the BNF because you get an invite to the Doig as well. So we'll probably roll it from the life membership lunch straight into the Doig the following night. Yeah,
they're always good days and always all nights, aren't they? So
day leading into a night.
Yeah,
pretty quiet. It must be a pretty large one, but it sounds fun, boys.
You'll get there one day, mate. Maybe.
Kicking snags.
Kicking snags. Right. 1 goal a game, mate. That's all you need.
Goal assist.
That's the secret, mate. Goal assist.
And this Friday night we head into another prime time fixture. Will you be watching?
Yeah, we'll be there. Me and Brocky O'Brien and Anthony Morabito, we try to get to plenty of the home games and sit up on the, what do they call it, the pavilion bit where we go sit. We go and watch a few games, and it's been good to get back, and it's a good excuse to go have a couple of beers with the boys and watch you guys do your thing.
Well, does it make you want to jump? Like you want to get out there?
Yeah,
you're obviously a competitive bloke, and you love it. Like, are there times when if you go there live, you're like, oh, geez, I reckon I'm probably better than that. I'll kick a few at you.
Yeah, we were playing Sydney the other week, and it was Andy or the young fella number 3. What's Caleb? Yeah. There was 2 Sydney players getting stuck into him. I've stood up like I'm going to jump out over there. So no one else is going to help him. And I'm thinking, just get over and help him, boys. I was gritting my teeth to not get over there.
Imagine that. Just jump the fence, one beer in hand just comes through. Get off him.
It was one of those. I'm pretty sure it was one of those 2. Oh, no, it was Fife. It was Fifey, actually. There's a midfielder because I I know Fifey dropped someone and they've come, like 3 or 4 of them and took to him, and I was going to get up.
Chest out.
Yeah, the chest was out. Yeah, the heart was racing.
Oh, it'd be all time to say that. Banned for life, but it'd be worth it.
Oh, it'd be worth it. And if Griff was in your forward line, if you were playing in the same forward line as Griff, what would be some of
We'd
your
be playing in
advice?
his
Or what
forward. It wouldn't be playing in my forward line. It'd be playing in Ballas' forward line. So
that's
just
what I
get
mean,
that.
yeah.
Trust me, I know your place.
Just work on the hands, mate.
Yeah.
Just work on the hands and we'll be sweet.
All right, well, this Friday night, retro round, Hayden Valentine's going to be there somewhere, so if you see him, say good day.
If you see him about to jump the fence,
Hold him back or pay the fine.
hold him back and don't let him do it. Should be a good game. So yeah, it's exciting.
It'll be a huge game, another primetime fixture against another
Top of the table jobby again.
Yeah, or
nearly
up toward that way, which is nice to be a part
Yeah.
of. Another little reminder that the Old Bull Young Buck membership OBYB discount code is still active, 30% off for Purple Army memberships.
Yep.
Obviously, we want to make Garlo happy and get to that 80,000 as soon as we can, but we're close to breaking our all-time record, so that'd be great.
That'd be very huge. OBYB, 30% off. Cheers.
Purple Army membership.
No worries. Well, that's about a wrap for today's Old Bull Young Buck, and thanks again, Ballas, mate. How'd you go? You enjoy it?
Yeah, it was good. I was actually expecting to cop a bit more from you, but you've been very
nice
placid.
to you. Been nice to you, mate.
He's a bit scared.
Yeah.
Deep down, I think looking back, I'd have to say one of the blokes I've been scared of the most, I reckon. Don't know why. You just had to, I always get into you for being short, but it's not about the size of the bloody dog in the fight. The size of fighting dog. So we'll leave on that and like and subscribe, guys. So cheers. Thanks again. Thanks.